Hello everyone. How are you doing today? This is Katie M. Reed from katiemreed.com, and this is day number 13 of the Restoration Project. Hey Tara, welcome. Glad you are here. We're going to be talking about this book today called Women at War by Jan Greenwood. And actually, a newer version of this book has come out. So if you search for it, you will find a different cover. You'll find one that looks like it has bullets and one has like lipstick on it. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. Okay, whoops, sorry. Getting used to doing this different. Hey, Nessa, welcome. Glad you guys are here. But yes, this book, Women at War by Jan Greenwood, you definitely need to check it out. I had the privilege of meeting Jan this summer at the Declare conference, and she's just one of those kind of women that you know pretty quickly, like, would you be, like a spiritual mentor to me, or would you, she's just a Titus 2 kind of woman, and I picked up on that right away, and once you read the book, you can tell that too. Hey, Lauren, welcome. How are you guys doing today? It's very chilly here in Michigan. And Lauren, remind me where you are from. Are you in a chilly place too? Actually, before we jump into this book review, a few just things. Oh yeah, upstate New York. And remind me, I think, Tara, are you like, I want to say Minnesota or something like that? Hey, Sam. Sam, where are you joining us from? Remind me. Anyway, so North Dakota, right? Probably butchering it. Virginia, what are you, oceanside or landside, or you don't have to tell specifically, but like the general area, Sam? Well, welcome. So glad you guys are here. And for those of you watching the replay, welcome. I'm Katie M. Reed from katiemreed.com. And we had our first doctor's appointment today. My husband and our, hey hubby, I'm actually in the youth room here at our church. So I've got kind of a nice little background. Okay, awesome, Sam. And there's only one baby that I'm carrying, which we were rejoicing. Twins can be a blessing, but when you have 4 other children, that seemed just a little overwhelming. We asked our youngest today how many he thought. Hey, Audie, welcome. We asked, anyway, our youngest, how many babies he thought there were, and he said 10. So we were very relieved that there wasn't 10. Hang on, I got a low battery here. Okay. Anyways, so there's one, but I'm not quite as far along as I thought. So I'm only 7 weeks, and I am showing. I'll show you guys the bump sometime, but maybe not today. But anyway, everything looks good and went well, and so that's always a relief. And let me know how the connection is. I'm using the church Wi-Fi and didn't have quite as many bars as we usually have. So anyway, welcome. I want to jump into this book today, Women at War. Show it one more time. By Jan Greenwood. And in case you missed the beginning, I was just saying, thank you guys. Thanks for the feedback. I was just saying that I think Charisma House has come out with a new edition of this book, and so it will be a different cover if you look for it. But Jan gave a powerful message at Declare. And, I remember sitting down and talking to one of my friends, and I said, man, Jan really exposed some of the enemy's lies in our lives when she was speaking. And I'm like, man, I bet the enemy does not like that. But you know what? She is a bold woman. Not a problem, Lauren. You have a good day too. But she is a bold woman, but she's got the Holy Spirit to protect her. And she, have you ever had like a lie you believed and then someone points it out that it's a lie? And you just sometimes feel foolish. Like, man, how I was duped, Well, Jan gave a powerful message to us, and a lot of us came up and confessed areas where we had believed a lie, and then the truth that we are going to receive by faith. And her book, Woman at War, is no different. I highly encourage any Christian woman to read this book. It is really good. And I want to read, I should have been on my game. I did message Jan. I said, Jan, if you can join us at all, we would love it. She might be able to catch the replay. So if you have any comments or questions or things for her, you could probably put them on here and she will see them later. But I should have asked her a long time ago. But this is from page 24, and it says, as I see it, there are two primary reasons women war against one another. And isn't that the truth, ladies? We fight each other. I love what my friend and fellow Periscoper Cindy Baltima says of how we're on the same team, but so many times we're fighting against each other and we're losing ground because of it. So anyway, on page 24, Jan says, as I see it, there are two primary reasons women war against one another. One, Satan hates us. Because there's a continual war between the enemy and us, he constantly sets in motion opportunities for us to doubt the heart of another towards us. If we don't know the truth about who we are and what we are called to, we fall victim to his plots. And then the second point is, we've consistently wounded one another. Sometimes in the heat of the battle, you can become confused about who is the enemy and who's your ally. Thinking you are defending your own territory and righteously assaulting what is evil, you strike out at those who are on your team. Not only that, but those who should be for us are often busy delivering their own painful wounds. The longer you fight against your own clan, the more intense the battle and the more unclear your thinking. We know there's a war, but we have been misled about who really is our enemy. Isn't that powerful words? We fight each other because we think each other's the enemy, but it's not. Satan is our enemy, and from the beginning, he has been waging war, right? Especially on women. I mean, yes, he does with men as well. I'm not trying to say one more than the other, but he's not happy with us, and he's not happy. Absolutely, Audie. That's what Cindy says. We are on the same team, and I kind of think about it's like we're playing tug of war, and so if we're pulling against each other, we're not. Obviously, if one's stronger than the other, they can pull, but there's that friction. But if we both got on the same side of the rope and pulled, man, we could do some damage, right? There's another part in here. I mean, the whole book is good, but really, I just love how Jan, I said this on the blog today. In the movie War Room, Miss Clara says to Priscilla Schreier's character, she says, I see in you a warrior that needs to be awakened. And that's how I felt as I was reading this book. You're like, oh my goodness, how have I forgotten this stuff? I've let the enemy trip me up, and he's, trying to take me out. But it's kind of, I call the Esther moments. Let me back up just a little bit. But sometimes, quite often, more than I care to admit, in motherhood, I get kind of this victim mentality, like, oh, the kids are misbehaving, and oh, I have to do this, and I'll try to muster my strength to do it, versus that what I call the Esther mentality of like ruling and reigning in the territory God has given you. And how Esther, even though she knew it could cost her her life, she did what she felt like God had asked her to do, and she did it with boldness, and she cared for those in her charge. And so I was feeling like that as I'm reading this book of like remembering who I am. And even though I might be afraid, he's called me to do things in this generation, and it's called you to do things in this generation, that too often we listen to these lies and we get, tripped up or, threatened to be taken out because of these. Here's a kind of silly example, but it was a big deal to me. I had someone I was very close with had told me that hey, sis-in-law, our baby is due on my sis-in-law's birthday. So I don't know if she's rooting for the baby to be born then, or if she would like to share, the same birthday. We'll see. But anyways, I had someone very close to me had said, hey, when I get married, I want you to sing in my wedding. Well, I love to sing. I was totally flattered. Well, then came time for her to get married, and they had someone else sing instead. And so, this somebody else, someone else is someone that was an excellent singer, and someone that, one of the best singers in person, I had known. So I understood why they wanted to use her, but I felt like it's because I'm not good enough. And so I carried this around for years of just this why didn't they ask me? It's probably because I'm not a good singer. I mean, for like a decade, okay, my feelings were hurt about this. And I'm not like I thought about it all the time. But then I ended up talking to this person when we were kind of like having this time where we were clearing the air, and I brought it up. And she didn't even remember, like that she had asked me. She had no idea my feelings were hurt. And it just showed me of like, man, I let the enemy get in there. Instead of just going to her in the first place and just saying, you can have whoever you want sing your wedding, but I'm just a little hurt because you had asked me and then you didn't. Is there a reason? Or I don't know. And she could have cleared the air right then. But instead, just let this wound, cause insecurities in me or cause a little bit of distance between she and I. And it just reminded me of this book as I'm reading it. It's like, how many times do we believe lies that they're not true. They're lies, but we don't know they're lies. We just think that they're the facts. And some of that, I think, is just being honest with each other and say, hey, when you said that, did you mean that? And I guess if they say yes, at least you would know, right? So hopefully that is making sense. But in the towards the end, Jan talks about Mary and Elizabeth and how they were both carrying children of destiny, but yet, and they were both willing to do that and wanted to please the Lord and do his will. And, their children did awesome things. John the Baptist and Jesus, hello, what a duo. But it also cost them great pain, those women, great pain, but but what if they wouldn't have done those things, right? We would be suffering, for it. I'm not speaking it clearly, but I think you know what I mean. But I just loved how she said, and then she goes on to compare Eve and Mary. And I just want to read a little bit from page 70. It says, Eve and Mary were both destined to become life givers. Each was handpicked by God to be the mother of all living. The difference between them is not in their capacity. The difference lies in whom they listen to. Eve could have spoken to God about her concerns or even to Adam. Instead, she talked with a cunning serpent and reasoned herself into disobedience. Mary had questions just like Eve. She was trying to reason in her mind how this could be, but she chose to discuss what God said to her with Gabriel and Elizabeth. The angel responded to her concerns based on the prophetic promises over her life. She took counsel from an angel of the Lord. Then she ran to another mother, a relative and friend, and there she found comfort, hope, and celebration. Who are you listening to? Are you communing with an angelic messenger or entertaining the thoughts and reasoning of the enemy? Are you willing to seek the encouragement and support of another woman so she can breathe life into you and your dreams? And I think, and that's from page 70 and 71, and it's from a chapter called A Broken Branch. But I just thought, man, so many times the enemy, one of his tactics is to isolate us and to isolate us from each other so that we don't have like those tightest two women, those mentors that are speaking truth into our lives and helping us see our blind spots. Do you ever reason with the enemy? I know I do. You hear a lie or he plants something in your mind and you're like, well, you start justifying maybe sin, or he, says, that person's really doesn't like you and this is all these things. And pretty soon we can be in an all-out war with someone that's really not even upset with us. But I know for me, one of the wounds of the enemy I believed is I'm not good enough. Hey, Courtney, welcome. So if someone is like disappointed or seems displeased or I haven't, measured up to their expectations, that's that lie. I continue to go back to, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. And so I interpret people's actions based on that wound. Yes, Tara, I think it's a common one for women. And, the truth is we are not good enough apart from the Lord. But I think our lie is we just think we're not, enough. Like, if I don't do this, people won't love me. Kind of that works-based mentality. And in this book, Women at War by Jan Greenwood, she exposes the enemy's tactics. So do you think Satan, the enemy of your soul, wants you to read this book? Probably not. So that's exactly true. You are good enough with the Lord's help. We are his. And we're good enough because he's good enough, right? And he deems us worthy because of what he's done on the cross. It's not by our works that we should not boast, but because of the Lord and what he's done. But this book, I feel like it is kind of a military strategy type of book, but written to women to rise up, stop believing the lies, and be who God has called you to be. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy, but the enemy is threatened by us. We're life givers, whether that means you birth babies or you are a spiritual mother to many. Regardless, he wants us to multiply. Yes, Courtney said she loves these song lyrics. I will not boast in anything, but I'll boast in Jesus Christ. Absolutely. And so I encourage you guys to read Jan Greenwood's book, Women at War. And I would love to hear what you think about it. I know Jan would love to hear what you think about it, but I really believe it's a powerful book for this generation. Rise Up Together, that was a theme for our church's big youth gathering this summer in Detroit. Yes. And we need each other, right? And we need to stop fighting each other. We need to go forward in what the Lord has for us. And that is absolutely correct, Courtney. Yes, Women at War by Jan Greenwood. I encourage you guys to check it out. And I just would love to hear what your takeaways are. I had so many, and I don't know if you can tell. I'm going to try to show you. But see this, I was telling this on the blog. I sometimes like to read in the bathtub. And I often fall asleep in the bathtub too, and not because this book is boring, because it is not boring. But I dropped it. Hey, Cafe Ministries. Oh, Celeste, welcome. Glad to see you. Anyway, so it has been well loved because it fell in the bathtub and I wasn't done with it, and I was like, oh no, it dropped out of my hand. So for a half an hour I had my hair dryer drying it all off, and I was going to give this to one of you guys, but I'm not now, because after it got wet, I'm like, well, now I can write in it, so I started writing in it, and it's just as well because it's a book I want to keep referring to. But our culture tells women so many lies, and we need to know what the truth is. We need to be in God's Word. We need to know what the Father's heart says about it. Oh, Courtney's asking how Right 31 Days is going. It's been good. Yes, it's hard to read other people's words when you are doing your own 31-day series. I've been trying to catch a few here and there. But November is a good time for that, to go back and read everyone's series when you're done writing your own. So, good for you. Tara wrote 4 posts last night. I have to do mine still for tomorrow. Yes. I know. Well, I didn't have the hair dryer in the tub. I had to dry it afterwards, and I fall asleep in the tub a lot because I do it right before bed, but I'm usually okay. Oh, my husband's going to check on me, sis-in-law, so I'm sure he'll be pleased to do that. But anyways, let me know if you guys read this book, Women at War by Jan Greenwood, and it's bringing peace to yourself and your girlfriends too. I think the new version has an even updated tagline, something about toxic relationships and that kind of too. And just a side note about the bathtub reading, my father-in-law made my mother-in-law a whole wooden thing. So hubby's listening, so maybe he'll make me one of these. And but you set your book right on this wooden thing, and then you're not having wet hands and all that kind of stuff, but it's pretty cool. So things like that do exist. But anyways, okay, my husband and sister-in-law can go south with the conversation fast, and so I think that they are. So we probably better get off here before they get too out of control. But I hope that you check out this book and tell me what your favorite parts were from it. You can buy it on Amazon or CBD, and be sure to follow Jan Greenwood on Twitter and tweet your favorite quotes from the book. I have some of those on the blog today. I think I have 3 of my favorite quotes from her book at kdmread.com. But thank you for joining me for day 13 of the Restoration Project. I will be back here tomorrow for day 14. And I am not totally sure what I'm writing about yet tomorrow, so we will have to see. And then Adam and I will be back for Stop Hammock Time. And I hope you guys are having a great day. And I appreciate each of you. If you're doing Right 31 Days, keep going. Oh, almost halfway. That is exciting. And you guys can do it. And just remember, every day doesn't have to be earth-shattering or long or whatever. So, and if you guys have any suggestions for hammock time topics, we would love that. So have a great day. I will talk to you later. KDM Read from kdmread.com.